All right, what's going on, guys? Today it is my huge honor to welcome, and let me pronounce this right, Christian Kuess. How was it?
Yeah, it was very good. It's a pleasure for me to be here. Actually, my name is pronounced Kuess. Yeah,
Is it?
yeah, but so many of the German bodybuilding scene and stuff are calling me Kuess.
Yeah, I specifically asked my mom, like she's fluent in German, so I asked her specifically how would she pronounce it.
Like so many people are calling me like that, so I never corrected it if someone says like Kuss. So I'm fine with it.
Oh yeah, so sorry about I was preparing
call
to
me
call it.
Kuss.
Oh, yeah, no worries.
Yeah, it's nice to be here and have a chat with you, Cosma. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah.
Gonna be a cool chat, I guess.
Since I saw you in July, you gained like 20, 30 kgs, like because you're much bigger now. What was the weight difference?
In July was actually my first competition of last season, so it wasn't that directly after the PCA show.
Yeah, I saw you directly after that. You were like a few days
came
post-show.
back and then we had the talk. We had the talk. So what did I weigh there? It was like 90 kg or so. So about 30 kg up.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So as you've seen me, I was depleted shortly after my competition, depleting again for like the weeks leading up to the NPC Austria, which was my one and only NPC show. But that must have been like 90 kg roundabout. And now it's 120-ish.
How quickly did you gain the weight? Was it a big rebound? Because you are still like in good shape.
Yeah, I don't know why this post-competition phase went so well. I think I just had all the variables in check, and like I haven't had any huge off meals or so, because I also prepped my fiance, and she was in prep until beginning of November, so we hadn't have the chance to like go for a meal out or something like that. So I just stuck to my routine like pretty much every damn day. We were able to taper up carbs like every week or so, and my weight was just at the beginning very stagnant, and I was just getting fuller, and then the weight shot up like after 4 weeks post comp or so, and it never came back down again. And the shape stayed like that. So I have still like some striations in my glutes, which is pretty cool. The first thing that gets a little bit fat with me is like my midsection. So that's a bit off in comparison to like the actual show day shape. But overall, I'm pretty damn happy with this post-comp phase. So I think like all things were just in check, also like from a training side of things, like fatigue management and stuff. And I was still in my role as a contest prep coach until end of November, actually, because end of November was the last show, was the IFBB Pro show in Portugal when I was at Mr. Big Evolution. And there I still could have gotten on stage, like there was 10 weeks post show or so. Yeah. So yeah, very successful post-show period. Just shifted my focus then straight from the athlete mode to the coach mode again, and just kept my focus on all most important things. Yeah.
Do you feel like the post-show was this successful because of the client work? Because you needed to stay focused and there was no distractions?
Yeah, definitely. But I think that was a drawback for my actual contest prep, because you have to imagine when we saw each other, that was in July, and for the big first NPC show was also the same show that I attended myself, the same show where I had 17 clients on Saturday and Sunday split. I attended the show on both days myself. Plus, I was a co-host of this show, because it was the Progress Pro show, like the first pro show since years in Austria, and I sponsored that with like my brand, like Progress. So I was a kind of co-host of the show, went on stage myself and had like 17 clients competing, like 17 starters for Sunday and Saturday. And I think the stress levels leading up to the show were just like too much. And that's why I also think that I've lost muscle leading up to like this next show. And that muscle must have been gained back post-show. Yeah.
So do you feel like the rebound, it was so like efficient because of the maybe some muscle being lost during the process?
Yeah, I guess so. And I definitely have to change that. I mean, last competition season, the whole prep was like pretty much a disaster. I mean, the prep itself went pretty damn smooth, but I started that prep in February, just wanting to do a cleanup. Yeah. And then I started to prep my fiancée and thought, okay, why not prep myself for the same year? Because otherwise she would have had prepped, and then after her post show I would have started my prep, and that's like so I thought about like prepping myself, and that's why I prep like for my first show 30 weeks or so, which is pretty damn long when it comes to like enhanced bodybuilding. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a big promoter of like longer contest preps, even in an enhanced setting, especially if someone needs it, and especially if it's a first enhanced prep, quote unquote. But it was too long for me, and that was another co-factor that maybe led to some lost muscle.
So when did you start working with Joe? After that, the solo prep?
No, I started working with Joe. So another fun story. I competed in 2023 after I decided to stop bodybuilding myself. So I went on TRT in spring 2023 and just lost some weight, lost my muscle because I went on TRT and started to like do runs and trained like 3 times a week. Yeah, you can laugh at me. But then I was getting leaner and leaner and leaner, and I thought like 6 weeks out from the NPC Austria at that time, yeah, why not do that show? And then I did that show. I was with Luke Miller then, yeah. And then I did that show, and yeah, did the post show phase with Luke, and then decided to do my own stuff for like half a year or so. And end of 2024, mid 2024, end of 2024, I started working with Joe. Yeah, just to get some control off my mind from myself. I mean, you know that how that is when you coach a lot of clients, and my roster at peak times was like 120 people. So I did not want to like think for myself, my programming, because especially when it comes to programming, I can get a little bit more emotional driven and make some stupid choices down the line, like inadequate like rest, inadequate like training frequencies, or just emotional behavior when it comes to movement patterns.
Yeah, when it comes to training, what was the chest injury you were dealing with, and how is it currently?
Oh my god, the chest injury was first one was like directly post prep on the right side on the prime incline press. I recovered from that. End of November, I had the same shit on the left side. It was just a strain. It was not a tear or something like that. It was a strain, but a major strain. So I was pretty hurt. So, and then I recovered from that, and like working my way back up on the prime incline. I did it for the 3rd time then, also on the left side again. Yeah, now I just making a big step backwards and transitioning a little bit away from that heavy stretch positioned loading.
Speaking of prime, how does it feel to finally like have so many incredible pieces? Because like the guys from the UK cannot relate to us because there isn't really much prime in Europe, but especially in Austria and in Vienna, you now have 2 incredible gyms with prime. How does it feel?
It's amazing. So there are like 2 sides of the medal. First of all, a fun story. We waited like 2 years for the prime equipment to come at Das Gym. 2 years. Like the duration we've waited to receive this equipment is like insane. I don't know what Prime is doing, but it's completely insane. But yeah, we now have 2 gyms, and you know, a lot of people are calling like Prime overrated. Yeah, you're just overcomplicating stuff. You don't need that stuff and all that shit. But for myself, I've trained a Prime kit for a few times now. Yeah, I mean, you have it all over in the UK. I was in the UK like maybe 10 times now for competitions and stuff, and I was able to try out some very good kit at like Frontline Fitness, Ultimate Fitness Birmingham, Ultraflex, and all that good gyms. Yeah, and every time I went on to do something on a Prime kit, it just felt amazing. Yeah. So I'm a little bit biased when it comes to that, but I think Prime, just except for a chest press, fits me so well in terms of my structure and the ability to load like different positions of the muscle architecture is just so amazing. It's so amazing. So I'm a big fan of the Prime kit, and I know a lot of people will comment and come up to me like, Chris, you don't need that fancy shit. And yeah, I've trained without that kit for years, and I would say I've built some muscle, but it's just something different. And I always felt like, especially at Das Gym, that Prime is the only thing that's really missing here. Like a good, for example, like the seated row and the extreme row are just my 2 goated back machines. Especially the seated row, you can load it for like upper back, you can load it for like unilateral lat work. I'm just such a big fan of this machine. Yeah, and yeah, it was amazing feeling to finally receive that kit and being able to like consistently train there. Yeah, because I love it. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I feel like in my case, like my first contact with Prime was actually in Slovakia in 24 because this was the closest gym in, like, I mean, from the south part of Poland. So this, when I heard that there's an actual gym opening in Slovakia with Prime kit, I was like, I immediately have to go. So I went there with my parents by train, like in 24. That was my first experience with Prime, and they had the incline press, the shoulder press, the stack version, like the weight stack version of chest press, lateral resist, the pec deck. This was actually my only time on the actual Prime pec deck, and man, I fell in love all the time. Like, I was so excited to try it. I did like I think I did every possible loading combination, like 5 sets extreme row, 5 sets incline press, 5 sets the shoulder press, like everything, and I truly loved it. I feel like same as you, I just love it so much. And of course, you don't need to change the resistance profile. Like, I was doing fine before that, and now I don't have it. But I feel like it's maybe the pendulum swing too much on the other side. And UK people, I also had some guys on the podcast that actually said that Prime is overrated in their eyes, especially like much of the plate loaded versions. But maybe they're so used to it. For there is a normal equipment, and they have a much more variety. And for guys like in Europe, like us, we didn't have that for so long, so now we can actually get most out of it. So I truly feel like it's perfect. Maybe the handles on the incline press, if they could be like tilted a bit other way, that could be even better. What do you think about the handles? Because I see you use the neutral grip to hit the upper pecs.
I've used all the grips, Cosma. I've used all the grips. I've tried so many different grip positions right now. So I started off with like a pronated grip, then went in for the neutral. Now I'm doing like a grip that's very far on the inside with my elbows a little bit more facing outwards. Similar to what JP does, but JP has like 30 kilos of muscle more, or maybe 40 or maybe 50, I don't know. But I don't know which is my favorite variation. The handles seem a bit off, but overall, like this press is anyway so cool. I mean, I hurt myself 3 times now, but it's still so cool. I love it. The one press we don't have is the flat press, because I also like the flat press for like just the for just the horizontal adduction part of the movement. Yeah, I really like this.
Resistance aside, would you prefer the explode press or the prime thrust?
The prime.
Really?
Prime, big time. I've tried now, like I've tried the whole line of Nautilus presses, the whole line of Atlantis presses, the whole line of like Arsenal presses, and also those modified hammer strength equipment we now have. I don't know if you have seen it, but
I've seen it. Yeah, the incline and the decline. Yeah, extra
incline,
weight horn,
decline, and flat.
Ooh.
We modified all three of them with an extra loading pin, with an extra weight horn, like placed above the other one. So that makes the machine from an ascending resistance profile to now a descending, which is pretty damn cool because it now fits the strength curve from the chest perfectly. But still, I would prefer the prime presses over all those other presses, like over Atlantis, over Nautilus and stuff.
What about flex?
Flex still. The flat press is pretty cool. I don't like the incline press, to be honest.
Me neither.
Whether the old version nor the like new version, but the flat press is pretty damn cool. Like the flex flat press and the Nautilus Star Trek press, not the one with the pivot above, with the pivot below, like the one with the silver red handle.
Yeah, I use it actually on an everyday basis.
Yeah, and that is one of the best incline flat presses. Yeah, don't like the incline press there. Also, Star Trek incline. Also, I don't like the shoulder press there. But if I had to like pack all those presses under one like umbrella, I would always take like prime before I take all of the other ones.
Have you done the Nitram press on Ultraflex?
No, I haven't done that. What I actually did at Mr. Big Evolution were those new tech kit. This is also like pretty cool.
Yeah, how was it? Because there are like different. The opinions varies between people.
I mean, I haven't done it for like subsequent sessions, so I can't say like how it would feel or would have felt if I would have forced progression on those lifts. But overall, like the feeling in the chest and stuff was all right. Also, the placing of the handles were pretty damn good. But overall, I would still prefer like an incline prime and a flat prime, and the prime shoulder I also love because the prime shoulder gives you the opportunity to really load that abduction part of the movement. Whereas many other shoulder presses force you into like more of the shoulder flexion part, which is not a bad thing. If you want to train like more of your front delt, maybe it's still a bit up chest if you bring your arm a little bit lower, then it's pretty cool. But overall, I'm in love just with prime. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe I'm like a little bit like head washed, brainwashed, whatever. But overall, prime is my go-to kit when you ask me.
Have you been to the Blackout Gym also in Portugal?
No, unfortunately not, because the IFBB or NPC Portugal decided to move all those shows that previously were at Estoril, where the Blackout Gym is, and move those to Portugal/Lisbon. So now we had an apartment at Lisbon directly near the Mr. Big Evolution Gym, and we would have to Uber like 50 minutes to the Blackout Gym. Yeah. And as you may know, a shoulder weekend gets pretty damn stressful, especially when I have like 5 to 10 clients competing. So the main focus for myself is not to try cool gyms. The main focus is try out a semi-cool gym, get a productive session in, but still have the focus for my clients. Yeah.
Yeah, so I highly recommend it.
Yeah, one of my client actually trains there, and programming there is a lot of fun, and also the vibe there, seeing from the training videos and stuff, is just amazing, and I would love to be there someday, but maybe not for a competition weekend. I mean, I've done stupid stuff in the past. I was at Manchester for a show with a client of mine competing at the MK Classic that time, and she was my only client competing there. And so I decided, yeah, I have a little bit of time, and that was actually my first time being to Ultraflex, because I've booked an Uber from Manchester to Ultraflex for one day. I went 1.5 hours to the north to Ultraflex, trained there with AJ. It was a pull session with AJ that time. And then I traveled back to Manchester for just a 3-hour drive for one session at Ultraflex. Yeah.
I feel like you missed on the Epi Iron Jungle. It's also a cool gym. And I think
Yeah.
it's right in Manchester.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when I am in Manchester, I always love the Flex and Tone just for the vibe. Yeah, so it's pretty damn rusty and like not clean, like the opposite of clean. I won't say dirty, but if you walk in and take a look at the balcony, there are like trash bags on the balcony, like all over the place. But the vibe there is pretty damn cool. And also the kit is not bad. It's not like good maintained, if you can say so, but it's still pretty cool. And the other gym I like to visit when I'm in Manchester is like Frontline Fitness, FLF. Yeah, that's also good. Like this is the gym where
Is it where Oscar trains?
Oscar trains. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
The yellow,
yeah.
black and yellow kid.
Yeah, the black and yellow one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cal hosted a seminar there a few times, and I was there training with a former training partner of mine. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, just a very clean gym, like a high level bodybuilding / commercial gym kind of stuff. But the kit is pretty cool. I also love the Atlantis pendulum. We here over in Austria, in the whole and also the whole German speaking room, we don't have the Arsenal pendulum squat anywhere. Yeah,
Only
I don't
Predator
know why it
strength.
is. Only Predator strength, like Gym 80, Jim Leko is now pretty new on the market. We have that like in every second gym, but we don't have Arsenal. Atlantis.
Yeah. You mentioned the Ultimate Fitness Birmingham. I'll actually be there. I'm flying in like 2 weeks to Derby for a seminar, so I will also check out the Ultimate Fitness, the Ultraflex, and some other gyms.
Nice. That's gonna be a hell of a trip.
Yeah, and
So they're for a
Yeah.
seminar. For a
yeah,
seminar.
yeah. There's Kuba, AJ, Callum, like some other people.
I've seen that. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you planning to come or not?
No, unfortunately not. When is that?
February 7th. It's like in a week or so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. So you have a nice trip there.
Yeah, and also we'll check out the mixed Mr. Big Evolution gym. Like I'm flying to come back to Blackout in like April, but I need to like I've seen the videos of you, and they actually upgraded the kit like substantially since they opened.
Yeah. So Mr. Big Evolution is now getting like high end, as I said, like with all the new tech stuff, and Roger's Pendulum is there now, and also like all the Prime kit, like Nautilus kit and stuff. Yeah, it's a little bit too big for me. Like when I walk into a big gym, I get like a little bit overwhelmed pretty quickly. Not at Ultraflex. I don't know why that is, but when I walk in Mr. Big Evolution, I just get a little bit overwhelmed. So I just put my headphones on and go in for a training session. Yeah, still a bit like unused to those noises and the crowdedness as it can get in a gym like this.
Yeah, so you definitely have to check out Blackout. It's not that big, and yeah, the vibes there are so good, and the whole like the down floor is like strictly legs, so it's like just one floor of strictly leg equipment, and it's just crazy.
That's so nice. That's so nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why that is, but each time I'm visiting the UK for whatever gym, I just feel like I'm a different person. I don't know why that is, but I just feel more like a bodybuilder in my identity. I just enjoy to train there, whether it's like Ultimate Fitness Birmingham. I mean, it's not a big gym. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, and it doesn't have the best equipment. It has worse equipment than Das Gym, but I feel like I'm so much more myself there compared to like Das Gym or so.
Yeah, I feel the same, but for me, like Das Gym is that kind of gym. Like when I first visited, I felt literally at home. Like I know it's a stupid example, but I left my bag with passport and all the documents, like in the gym floor, went to the toilet, didn't care. Like I felt safe. Like I know it's probably not the best thing to say right now, but I wouldn't do that in any gym in Poland. If you leave your wrist straps in a gym locker room, they are gone. Like in a second, you can just turn away and they are gone. Yeah.
Oh my God. Good to know that I will be in Poland, I guess, in Warsaw at the end of May. Yeah,
May?
I think so.
For an NPC show or what?
For an
this
NPC show, yeah. So I guess so at least. But yeah, in Das Gym, the whole community is just like so friendly and so kind. So when I come, I put my bag in just a corner, do my session, and at the end of the session I come back and the bag is still like they're completely the same.
Crazy. Yeah, I want to touch up on some topics that you are currently like creating content about, and I want to thank you for the non-German speaking people for you creating content in English, because I think like you only started doing this recently, right?
So my journey on social media has been pretty long actually. I started doing social media in 2014 or so with different kind of content. Like I'm coming from a physical therapy background, so my original content was actually in regards to that. Like I was called Chris Therapy that time. And then all things evolved and bodybuilding came up and stuff. And then I produced a lot of content in German actually. I put out daily reels. Like at the time when reels were like new, I put out like very high quality reels with my videographer. I paid like 5K each month for like a ton of reels. Yeah. So that was my initial growth bump from like 10K to 30K up in regards to my followers. But then I haven't had a feeling that I can use like social media anymore in regards to like building my business, because I got a good stream of clients coming in each month. I onboarded like several like very good amateurs. I onboarded my pro athletes. I made several people turn pro within the IFBB. So that was pretty damn cool. So I just used social media predominantly for the past 2 years as a marketing tool to show my results with my clients. So I just took on, had a lot of collab posts with like people that collab me for like results from competitions and all that stuff. And I haven't put that much like time and effort in when it comes to actually creating content, like reels and text posts and all that stuff. But at the end of last year, I realized, yeah, now I have this constant stream of clients coming in, that I'm now so efficient in my work with clients that I have a little bit of spare time. And I was thinking, okay, what project really excites me? And I was thinking, okay, creating something like a school. Do you know school?
Yeah,
like
I know
an online community for like people to learn, like a learning platform in German. Or do I create more like online courses or offer more mentorings? I currently take on like 3 people to mentor for a period of like 3 to 6 months or so. But nothing of those things excited me, like in terms of personal growth and in terms of like a challenge. Yeah, good. I could like sell a mentoring for 6 months at 4K. I have 4K more income, pretty damn cool, but I pretty much don't care about money. I don't want to buy a cool car. I mean, I sponsored the NPC Austria last year, the IFBB Pro Show, and I like gave in like 20K or so. So I just want to create something better within bodybuilding and within the whole community. And but this whole thought process of doing German content didn't excite me. So I wanted to switch things up a bit to enlighten the fire again within me in regards to creating content. So, and that was actually the first time that I went out there and allowed myself to speak in English, make English posts, to reach for a broader community. And I set myself a big goal of like not double the followers I currently had, but to 10 times the follower I currently had. So like 300K until end of this year. So I knew, okay, I have to put out a lot of cool stuff there. So I set myself a minimum of creating 5 reels a day and 15 trial reels a day. Yeah. And I did that pretty much the whole January, went up like 7K up to now. And yeah, people love it. So I highly appreciate anyone and everyone like watching my content. I get so much great feedback from actually doing something in English, because I feel like there's not really a shortage in great people doing content in English, but I think as I create more content, I still get the feeling that more and more people are still like either undereducated or so much overeducated that they focus on completely the wrong stuff. And I want to like clarify a few things when it comes to like fitness, bodybuilding, and all that stuff, and push out things that actually help people not to overthink more, but to produce more results.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not the only one thinking this. Like, I'm trying to follow your footsteps in a way, and also I'm also finishing the physiotherapy. Like, I'm finishing the 5-year degree like this year, so it's also cool to share that.
Is it a 5-year degree in Poland?
Yeah, like 5 years straight, no break.
Oh my God, 5 years is a lot.
How many years was it in your case?
It was 3 years for the bachelor. I don't know if it's bachelor and master in Poland.
I think it's I think it's called masters. That would be the translation. Not sure.
Yeah. But we had to do a 3 years degree for a bachelor kind of studies, and then you can pretty much work as a PT, as a physical therapist. And then you could tag on, for example, like sports physio for like a master's degree. That's
so like 3 plus 2.
2 years or so. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's similar, but in my case, like they changed the rules, so you have to do like a 5 years straight.
Okay, but 5 years is actually a lot.
Yeah.
Is physical therapist a job that is pretty high valued in Poland?
I don't think so. Like most of my like classes were in hospitals and stuff, and I don't want to work with it. Like I'm not planning to do any physio work. Like let's be honest. Like I'm trying to just grow my coaching business, and for me it's just another way like to get the knowledge in and leave all the unnecessary stuff. So
100%. But let me tell you something, Cosma. I was asked so many times over the years, Chris, would you do it again? Like, would you study physical therapy again, or would you like would you have liked to walk straight to like the online coaching kind of stuff? Yeah. And let me tell you, I would always do it again. Like the kind of value. I mean, you learn a lot of stupid stuff also. Yeah. you learn a lot of stuff you don't really need. Like when it comes to evidence-based physio, that's not kind of story, because you get like taught so many shit. Yeah. So much shit. But when it comes to like anatomy, physiology, and all that stuff, it can't get deeper than physio. Yeah. So I got so much out of that. Also in conjunction to like, I did a school before physio for engineering. And we had some extra like stuff for mechanics and all that stuff, and that combined with like the anatomy, physiology, biomechanics stuff from physio made me understand like all things so great. Yeah. So I would always do it again. I know you're learning a lot of stupid stuff. If all things would fall apart here with my coaching and my brand and online presence and whatsoever, I could still go into a hospital or so and work as a physio as my plan, not B, not C, maybe plan D.
Yeah, just do the shockwave therapy for like 10 times a day, or the ultrasound the therapy.
Yeah, just get those patients in and then do like 10 electrotherapy or so, and just thank you. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But I couldn't agree more. Like I still like also feel like the 90% of the stuff you learn is like completely like bullshit and you won't need it. But I will still do it again 100% because like of those few sparks, let's say this 10% allows me to like dive deep into physiology, anatomy. Like I wouldn't learn about this stuff if it hasn't been for the university, and also the way that it forces you to organize your time, to plan a routine, because you can either like fall out of the wagon and just drop everything. No, I'm studying. I cannot work. I cannot do anything. I cannot like learn. But or you can treat it as okay. This is like non-negotiable. This is my routine. Those are the classes, and I have to like work your way around it. So in that case, I think this is probably the most impactful like skill you can learn, like outside of the whole anatomy and stuff, that it helps you to be a better coach like in the future.
Yeah, I mean it's also character building. What you said, right? So like just organize yourself around those busy hours with your studies. Like I had some days where it was like at the hospital until like 4 or 5 p.m. and that was in my year of the bachelor's degree. So it would have there must have been like time plan for learning. And so I went from the hospital directly to the gym, then went home, did my whole meal prep and stuff, and then sat on the desk to learn, and then went straight to bed. Next time, same shit. And you have to just keep focusing. You have to keep your focus to focus on the right stuff. Yeah. And also there's one more thing I wanted to talk about. Like my USP when I first started online coaching was actually that I help people with like any kind of injuries or which were in pain. That was my first touch point with online coaching. I helped people that had like tennis or golfer's elbow and then structure, but I was not that type of guy that people came up to and said like, Chris, can you do something with me? Yeah, massage me or anything like that. So I was the type of guy people came up to and asked me, Chris, can you help me within my training to increase my capacity that I don't have pain anymore? And that's how I created my online coaching business that time. Yeah. That was my entry into online coaching, 2017 actually. Yeah. So it's like nearly 10 years. Yeah. And then that moved into bodybuilding more and more across the years.
Yeah, I actually during my last few weeks of prep, when I had the hospital classes, I actually started to train at for like 4 or 5 a.m. to train before the classes, because after the hospital classes I would be too tired to train. So I was like, wait, how can I shift it other way around? So I just started to go to bed at like 6 p.m. and wake up at 3, and I'm still on that routine because it's hard to get out of it.
Amazing. But you must feel like a badass. I always feel like a badass in prep when I wake up at 3 a.m.
3 a.m. is a luxury. Like 2:46, that was the main time. My body's like, cortisol go up. This is the time to wake up, start the day. And it's funny, like now, I want to like switch to, let's say, 4 a.m. and let's say go to bed at like 7, 8. But in my head, I would be like 1 hour behind, you know? Like I'm like, let's say 6:30 or 7 a.m. I'm already done training because I train after one meal. I go back home without any traffic on the road, so I can go sit like do my steps and work. And if I do it like 1 hour later, then the traffic is higher, then my session isn't as productive because there are more people at the gym. I cannot record my session because there are many people like going in the way. So everything is falling apart because of that. And 1 hour, it's crazy.
If you go into your day like that early, I think those hours have something like magical. Like when all things outside are still asleep and you wake up and do your thing, I think that's just that can't be beaten.
Yeah, and I also noticed like the productivity is like through the roof. Like I can do, let's say it's like Saturday. It's Saturday, 11 o'clock. I did like 25 client check-ins this day. I did my steps. I did cardio, like 80 meals and everything. And it's only 11 a.m., so it's crazy.
Yeah, amazing.
I wanted to bring on like several points that are like coming across your posts and reels. And I just love it so much. The points are so simple, yet still misunderstood. And it pains me to see that people are like overestimating the importance of minor details. And they are underestimating the fundamentals like so much, the basics. They want to get the cherry on top, but the whole cake isn't even baked. There isn't even a recipe for the whole cake, but they have the cherry. And it's so painful to see.
I could not have said that better. That's exactly what I think for like the whole time. This whole, if you take a look at your reel feed on social media, and you scroll through it, you will see so many people like quote unquote science-based lifters that don't even have like any gram of muscle on their body, telling other people's what the important factors are when it comes to training, and the things that they tell the others are not the important things. And that's so crucial. I mean, we always, you too, Cosma, we teach like principles. Yeah. We don't want people to focus on like the wrong stuff, on the like minutia. We want them to focus on the big stuff, on the big things that matter, that actually matter. And so many people get like caught up in this constant flow of information on social media and then see all those like science-based lifters promoting, you have to use cuffs and you can't do a slow eccentric and I don't know. Just focusing on the wrong stuff, and like the black and white thinking within this community is just unbeaten. If you scroll through those reels, so many people will tell you, do 48 reps, nothing more, because if you do more, you will accumulate fatigue and make no gains. So much shit. What is going on there? Yeah, I mean, we teach principles. And that's why I do such like breakdown posts of those principles that often. Like, just focus on the principles we actually need to build muscle. Like, if you have a weak muscle group, it makes sense to train that 2 times a week. It makes sense to profit from extra frequency to like get that muscle growing. Like, don't miss chances for the muscle to grow. Or it can make sense to prefer like lower rep ranges within your program. But that doesn't mean that a 12 rep set will cause that much fatigue that you can't progress next week or any of that shit. Like, what is going on in that scene right now? And that's why, I also show like some fancy exercise setups within my training videos. But that's just the same movement, just on another machine maybe. Or it can make sense to use cuffs on a lateral raise maybe. Yeah. But for some people, use a D handle, you're just fine. Just do a fucking lateral raise. Yeah. However you enjoy it.
I like to use the analogy of like paint and colors. Like if you say you have a red, green, etc., like you can choose any color you want, and it's like it looks good on a paper. But if you combine all of them, it's like gray, some mixture of black. It looks ugly. And the same is when it comes to training advice. Like any of those stuff can work, but you cannot have all them work together. Like you can there's the saying like you can be whoever you want, but you like anyone you want, but you cannot be like all the versions you want to be. So like that's maybe confusing. I want to start with the actual split. And I love the name. I think this is the first time I obviously knew the split, but the torso limb split. Can you like say a few words about it, and why did you choose it in your particular case? Because people now are going crazy. Like this is the only split. This nothing else works.
Yeah. Torso limbs. I hate that term. I hate the term so much. It's just basically it's a split that covers chest, delts, and back on one day. And on the other day, you train arms and lower. Yeah, that's just it. Torso limbs. Yeah, very fancy. Like torso extremities, maybe even.
Trunk and extremities, maybe that would work as well.
Yeah, exactly like that. And it's just something me and Joe came up with just because of the needs analysis we did after my show. So we looked at my show day pictures and thought, okay, which muscle groups need work? And clearly my arms needed work and my top shelf, if you can say so, like chest, delts, this whole area. Yeah. Okay. Now a split just should align with your needs analysis. So we know that efficiency within a workout gets worse as you continue to work out. Like if you do 16 sets within a session, let's say an upper session, and you come to set 16, yeah, then the 16th set will not be as productive as the first one. So it makes sense to place weaker muscle groups at the beginning of a session. And the clear outcome of that is within a frequency of me training 4 times a week, because I don't want to invest more work right now within my own setup as an athlete, would be to train chest, back, and delts on one day, because then I could go and do like chest and delts and tag on back at the end. And then the other day I have to like prioritize my arms a bit more. And that's a combination we came up with. Yeah. That there was at the whole beginning when torso limbs wasn't even a thing. Like nowadays you see like every second like science-based lifter talking about torso limbs. I mean, what is going on? That's just a split for someone who has like strong legs, for example, or even like strong arms and wants to deprioritize arms and tag them onto the leg session at the end. That could also work. But a split just provides a framework within you can operate depending on your strengths and weaknesses. So for example, if my chest and back is lacking, I could do like a push full body, pull full body setup. If I just need like general growth, maybe an upper lower, whatever. Yeah. I'm a big fan of training like everything 2 times a week, maybe a bit less than that, in like a push pull legs offsetting, maybe even. But any frequency can work. Yeah. It's just a very convenient setup for me. I like to train at high frequencies and focus on like basic movement patterns I enjoy and get stronger in. But for another person that looks something like pretty different. I have so many people in my roster, in my athlete roster, just doing a normal push-pull leg setup, for example. Just a normal push-pull leg setup. Yeah, and that's not a reason why they don't make any kind of progress or something like that. It's just, it still works. I mean, how many years people have trained a push-pull-off, legs off setup? That's something JP promoted like years ago. So many people did that. Me too. I've gained some muscle. Yeah. But for right now, for my current circumstances, this setup just provides everything I need. And also in terms of like the whole volume setup within this split, it's pretty low for especially the muscle groups that don't need any extra work, that don't need my full focus, or that aren't a priority. Yeah, but it just works, and I was able to progress like shit since my season ended.
Yeah, I feel like people are confused when it comes to splits because so many different approaches work, and it's all about like allocating the volume in the right days, and they just want a right answer. Like, but tell me what's the best split? I don't want to hear like any of them would work. Tell me what's the best because it allows them to like not think about it. But it's the funny part. They underestimate the fundamentals, when it's about allocating volume intensity, and they think that the right combination, like when you say like you do push pull rest lower or upper lower, and in most cases like we can agree like any of them would work if they would stick with one version consistently. But there's just this need for like get me the best version. Like I want to only hear that there's a single answer and nothing apart of it works. Like it's still it's confusing to me how the split design can be confusing. I mean, it's a good information that any of them can work, but somehow people think it's a bad information. Like I'm not sure about it.
Yeah, because people seek like they look for the optimum. They just want to like optimize things all the time when basics are not even in place. I mean, I get so many questions from people, just for example, asking if I train up or lower, is it better to do 2 days on, 1 day off, or if I stick to 4 days a week? What the fuck? It's just one more rest day. Just do what fits your schedule. Just go in there. It's not about like this rest day more or less. It's about applying effort, consistency, and accuracy within the training sessions. And today I posted a video ranting over someone's shoulder press because it looked
like I saw it.
piece of shit. Yeah, and those are those people who ask me the stuff like, if your shoulder press looks like that, don't ever think about like one more set or one less set, or think about the best split. If your shoulder press looks like that, you go revamp your whole like training, your whole philosophy. I don't know. Yeah. And that's the problem I have with that question, because yeah, you're damn right, Cosma. Any split could work. When I first started off with Joe, I was doing a 4-day split. I was doing chest and bicep and legs and delts and tricep and back. I was doing a 4-day split. Like, it worked. So I was just applying the basic principles to like the split. A split just generates a outline that fits your week, fits your schedule, and fits your needs. But you can make any split work. I can now go out there tomorrow and do a push-pull legs and like make the exact same gains as now with my torso limb setup, if it would fit my schedule.
I feel like it's the convenience of each extra question, because it allows them not to work, but just to wait, to stagnate, and to wait because they are still waiting for that perfect conditions to start. And it's just their brain telling them, oh, it's okay, you don't need to start, you don't have the effects, because you are clearly waiting to hear the perfect solution and it doesn't come. And those are the people that will never get the effects, because they still find the way to ask the same question in a different way and still are blinded to the answer because they just don't want to hear the truth.
And do you know what's the actual problem there? They are following so many people, and someone will tell them, yeah, this is now the best split, or they will see someone doing that split, and then they will think, okay, that's the right way to go. And then they will stick to it like 2 weeks, and then they will see another person doing another split and think, okay, this person now, he's making some serious gains. That must be the way to go then. And then they switch things up completely again. And that's especially a thing with people that are not getting a coach. They're completely on their own, and they're just out there spinning their wheels, trying every different variation in the hope of finding the optimum, and just thinking, okay, grass is green on the other side.
It's almost like we would need to maybe like teach people how to get this dopamine rush from beating the logbook every single week and not getting the new exercise, because this can still be like this can still gives you joy. Like you say, oh, I did like 6 reps and the last week it was 5. Yeah, like that's a PR. Instead of, oh, I did this exercise, but it doesn't feel that well. So maybe instead of actually like learning, getting the skill to perform the movement, I will just take another exercise because I saw Christian do the triceps, like cable pull down variation. But I need to do it because this is the key. But the other person will say this is not a mass builder. So there's all this confusion. It's almost like if you just didn't seek any advice, you would be probably better off on your own, actually experimenting. But I love this, especially the mass builder exercise and all those are like pure gold.
Yeah.
The only tricep mass builder is the skull crushers with straight bar. This is probably the mass builder, and all the other stuff is just like detailing work and isolation.
Good, I'm back.
Yeah. I annoyed you with the question of mass builders, so you had to disconnect.
Yeah. I always laugh at the people commenting under my posts. It's just ridiculous. Like, it's a tricep push down. Like, you can do it standing. No, it's stable enough. Yeah, trust me. You standing with one hand stabilizing yourself and the other hand doing the push down, it's stable enough. But you could always go on there and do it laying down at a bench. You could go in there at the lat pull down tower. You're fine. Yeah, it's just a push down. And in combination with a press of any kind, it will build your tricep as you get stronger. But the problem is, Cosmo, it's the same with like changing the split and changing the program and stuff. Problem is, people will do a single arm push down on a cable for 1 week, and then they see someone doing it laying down on the bench with like a rope or something like that. It looks cool. I have to try that. Yeah. And yeah, I get it. It is a cool feeling of trying a new exercise. It gives you dopamine. It's just something different. You don't have to worry about, now I have to beat the logbook and stuff. You just have a good feeling, a good sensation from like a new exercise. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if you constantly keep changing your whole setup, like even a tricep push down, you will like just keep turning around, like just doing the same stuff over and over again, and you won't be able to like make the progress you would be able to make if you do it otherwise.
Maybe the solution would be to just have one session at the start of the year to do like 10 tricep variations, like try it all at one session, and then like choose the one you want. Like say stick it for let's say like 16 weeks, and after 16 weeks, if you don't like it, like you are free to change it, but actually stick with it. And speaking about arms, do you feel like most people don't actually need like arm prioritization? They just need overall growth, because so many people are focused on like arm. I need arm day. My arms are weak, but dude, like you need 30 pounds of muscle like everywhere. And if your arms would be bigger, they would be like actually dominating out of proportion. So we just need overall size. How do you deal with it? And do you actually see it? Because I think it's common. Even I see it in gym every day.
100%. I would even go further, Cosma. I would even go in a way that most people don't even need any kind of prioritization.
100%.
Yeah. Most people that are asking, hey, Christian, what muscle groups in my body are weak and what are strong? Yeah. Most people asking this question don't need any kind of prioritization. Yeah. Maybe some people might be with a little bit better legs than the upper body, or the other way around or so. But most people just needs to train like 2 or 3 years on a general upper lower push-pull leg setup, whatever you want to call it, and just get strong as hell.
Yeah, I was talking once with a friend about judging feedback, and he actually didn't agree with me. But in my opinion, like when I was on stage, I felt like I don't actually need to seek judges' feedback, because I'm not yet at that level that I actually need specific feedback, and I just need like more size overall. I know my legs are shit. I need more muscle everywhere, and I feel like many people are in that same boat. You don't need specific feedback, but it's harsh truth to face, because you may feel like, oh, if I just had like my long head of the tricep bigger, or my like iliac part of the lats thicker, this would make a difference, but the harsh truth is you probably need size everywhere, and you just need to face it on. And the sooner you face that fact that you don't need to prioritize, the sooner you can get to work and actually like deliver the results and gain that muscle.
100%. I mean, arms are just a body part that people love, like visually. So they would love it if it's bigger, actually. But for most people, it doesn't make sense. They just need like thickness and density, like overall. Yeah. So, no, I think the most people are better off just gaining like overall size and just focusing 2-3 years in a constant, not the whole 3 years in a constant surplus, but a long time in a surplus, like needing, giving themselves the time to grow. Yeah. And yeah, now the science people will come and tell me, yeah, you can grow on maintenance calories. Which bodybuilder out there ever have gained like 20 kilos, even naturals, over the whole journey, like from being at maintenance? Which one?
Like you can probably accelerate in the car, like holding the brake, but is it the or the handbrake? Like, but yeah, you might be, but is it the most optimal, and will it get you the furthest? Probably not.
I mean, I'm also not a big proponent of like going straight into full bulk mode. Yeah, you neither. Yeah, just opt for a small, consistent surplus over 1 year, and some crazy things will happen. Yeah. And
yeah, but that's boring. That's too boring for people to hear. Like you need the excitement. You need to go either like all in, like 10,000 calories challenge, or like all the way up, or just stay lean as possible and not make any progress. Like the middle part is boring.
100%. That's actually something very, very, as a lot of people have problems with, like this boredom of bodybuilding. Like if you're in the off season, especially as a natural bodybuilder, where you don't have the PD escalation and stuff, and I still coach a lot of great natural bodybuilders, but it gets boring. Like it's monotony. Like you do the same things like over and over again, like sticking to a training program for a year, yeah, being in a calorie surplus, in a small calorie surplus a year, where like each 3 or 5 weeks maybe some calories get added when it's needed, yeah. But other than that, it's like just get stronger, be consistent, and use your time efficiently. Like it's not magic. Yeah, and it's boring. Of course, it's boring, and it can feel nice to like change things up and do this and do that, but it's nonsense.
How would you approach the volume in that improvement pains? And speaking about like most people, because like your execution is flawless, like the intensity is there, but I feel like most people couldn't get away with like so low volume. How would you approach it? Like in practical terms.
Yeah. 100%. So if a client comes up to me and applies for coaching, I usually set the volume like on the lower end-ish. I am not a big proponent of like giving people, when I first come into coaching, a program with like 20 to 30 sets per session or so, because I want to see the first weeks of coaching especially how much they can get out of how little. Like how little of volume can we do for this person to actually make progress and to get forwards. Yeah. So that doesn't mean that I program minimal volume for any of the people. Yeah. But it does mean on the lower end for like a physique that's pretty balanced, I would say. For each muscle, I would opt for like a set volume between 6 to 10 sets a week as a starting point, and then assess recovery, of course, and taper up and down if needed, and look, of course, at their training quality. So you will do the same shit, Cosma. You will let your clients send you videos of their training, and then you can have a look at the actual training, because you can write the best program whatsoever. If what they do inside that gym is like shit, then there is no question about like adding one set more or doing one set less or something like that. So we have to fix those things inside the gym first. That's a prerequisite. Yeah. But when it comes to volume allocation, just taking a normal bodybuilding athlete, I mean, it's a little bit different when it comes to like bikini awareness and any of that stuff, because there's a little bit more like precise when it comes to lower body development. But then I would like say hitting a ish 2 times a week frequency with like 3 to 5 sets per session or so is pretty fine as a starting point. I would not set anyone coming new into my coaching at like 2 sets of back a week like I do. Or I would not prescribe like for anyone 1 set of quads 2 times a week. That if someone hasn't got like the effort within their training or the accuracy, that will not be even be maintenance. And that's a problem then. Yeah. So usually it's a bit higher, but not that I go in and program 3 different leg press variations with 2 to 3 sets each or something like that. But a frequency of like, maybe something like 6 to 10 sets a week is a good sweet spot to start people off.
Speak about exercise redundancy. How would you like actually use it? Because I've seen you like do let's say a horizontal, like a chest press with horizontal adduction and a fly in the same session, or like a sagittal plane, like pull down motion or rowing movement. How would you approach it? Because people are sometimes like afraid to not to duplicate the motion, but sometimes it may differ, or the resistance profile is different. How would you approach it?
So it always comes down to like what kit is there, what is the frequency, and how many movements do I need within a session actually to get the whole volume in. Yeah. So when it comes to chest, it's pretty simple. We have the pretty simple. Yeah. You can complicate it then, but in overall, it's pretty simple. You have the power of horizontal adduction. That's either like a normal chest fly or a horizontal chest press, like we talked about earlier, with like the flex flat press or something like that. And then we have the function of like a little bit of shoulder flexion for like the clavicular fibers, so like the quote unquote upper chest. So it's always a matter of how to distribute volume across all those functions and all those movements. For myself, I always like to go in and do, for example, a pec fly, which counts for like which factors in horizontal adduction, and then follow up with a incline press that focuses more on shoulder flexion for like targeting more of the upper chest. And I have 2 functions in there. Would it be a problem if I also, let's say, would have a push session and then do another flat press on top? Like go for 1 set of chest flies, 2 sets of flat press, and then 2 sets of incline press. Or even like 1 set of chest flies, 1 set of flat press, and then 2 sets of incline press or something like that. No, it's not a problem. The problem is when people don't understand what movements do and they can't allocate volume adequately. Yeah. But I also do not like to sit here and overcomplicate that stuff again. Yeah. So you just have to remind yourself, what are the important movements to tick off when it comes to specific muscles, and how many movements do I need to tick off those functions? In terms of the chest, it's 2. If we want to target the whole back in a pull day, for example, it would be a frontal plane motion, a sagittal plane motion, and a transverse motion for like traps and rear delts. Yeah. Would it be worse if we add another sagittal plane motion, for example, a pull down, a sagittal plane pull down, for example, on a Nautilus pull down or whatever, and then a single arm row on the Cybex eagle row, whatever. Yeah. No, it still can work, but it won't work if you like don't think about it and then go in with like 3 sets on the Nautilus pull down and another 3 sets of the Cyrex Eagle row. Then you have like 6 sets sagittal plane, and that might be a bit too much for some people. Yeah, so just have to like think about your volume needs, the volume you can actually recover from, and then dependent on that, allocate that throughout all movement patterns you want to do in that single session. And then you're fine. I'm not a big proponent of, you are not allowed to do anything that's redundant. That's stupid. I mean, some people, even some people can connect better to like a chest press when they do a fly before. Or some people can connect better to a sagittal plane pull down if they do a pull over before. It's redundant, but it's fine. Why not do that? You could even go in there in a higher rep range than 5 to 8. Oh,
No,
yeah.
but then the calcium ions will build up and everything is gone. The nervous system can't function.
I mean, in essence, it's right, but it's not black or white. Yeah, and that's what people don't understand. Like, redundancy is not bad. You have just to see that it is the same motion, and then allocate like your whole total work you can do and you can recover from across those movements, and then you're fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like when you acknowledge also the resistance profiles, and obviously for most people, like you don't need to focus on that, but let's say you are like doing the sagittal plane, like pull down for that, like let's say the Nautilus explode, which would be like heavier the shorter range, and then maybe do the prime seated row like lat focused, like that could combine, or like let's say you do a chest press that's maybe the Nautilus explode chest press, and then a fly like to attack the left range. That could maybe work. Like you're technically doing the same motion, but with different resistance. And like let's say you allocate the 4 walking sets or 3 walking sets, like divide let's say two sets of press and 1 fly. So the work those 2 complete themselves and not duplicate.
Yeah, it's also just a matter of the individual. When we take that example of horizontal press versus fly, many people have like difficulties isolating, like work with their chest in a chest press. Yeah. And for those people, maybe it can make more sense to sprinkle in a fly with that press so they can get more productive volume in for their chest whilst they learn pressing correctly with their chest. So it's always a matter of like the individual that sits in front of you and what that individual needs. Yeah. So like for many people, it could make sense to do like 2 sets of press and 2 sets of fly, even if they can't connect to their chest well and make that chest, or as you've talked about the resistance profiles. If you have a hammer strength flat press, that's not even a very good chest press. Like, it's a very good chest press, but you have to factor in that it's heavier at the shortened range, and it buys us a little bit more of elbow extension, like the tricep with the internal moment arm stuff and all that shit. But then you have like a fly in conjunction to that, and then you can make like a very good workout for your chest with all that movements. So it's always a matter of kit. Like most kit here, for example, in commercial gyms, what do we have? Like hammer strength,
because it's unbreakable. Like it's undestroyable.
Yeah, it's unbreakable. But it's usually like when it comes to plate loaded kit, it's usually heavy at the short range. Yeah, so you can combine that then maybe with another movement that is heavy at the lengthened position. Yeah.
How would you cue someone that has trouble feeling their chest on the press, like biceps to like clavicularis? What would you say to them?
Yeah, usually like lead with the elbows. Like the whole problem with which it begins is that people treat a fly still like powerlifters treat a bench press. So they sit onto the pad, and then you can see that they pin their shoulder blades back like that, sit in there, and then do like this motion, but the chest can't even like contract correctly sitting like that if you have those shoulder blades like so pinned backwards. So what I like to do is like sit upright, stack your like rib cage into your pelvis, let those shoulder blades move more freely, and then just come on there, like if you go into the eccentric, bend your arms a bit, and as you come forward, press your upper arm towards your chest, like push that in. Yeah, don't think about the handles and stuff. That's why also a fly with cuffs or a fly, no, it's not fancy, it's just cuffs. It's different than a handle.
It's more optimal though, because you are using cuffs.
Yeah. It's not optimal when you don't hold something in your hands because of the co-contraction. Because of the co-contraction that's missing then. No.
The irradiation, what is this called? Like the irradiation effect, I think. There's some.
Irradiation, yeah. Exactly. No, just come forwards with your upper arms and press them towards your chest. And that's it. Like it's not magical. And also if someone has trouble with connections, that's a state where I like to like up the rep range a bit maybe, because if you have like 5 reps on a fly, yeah, good. then it seems like more logical that you have trouble connecting with your chest in a chest fly. Yeah.
Unless your name is Jordan and the last name starts with P.
Yeah. Of course. Of course. No, it's fun. I also like to the chest flies in like a lower rep range. If you can connect with your chest and you feel well doing that, please do so. But if you feel like you need to go higher to connect well and to get everything out of the movement pattern, please don't be afraid of doing higher reps. I mean, I've done stupid stuff in the past, and that's something that I won't do anymore, like 30 rep Widowmaker sets, for example, on like a leg press. That's character building, but you can do better for hypertrophy. I mean, you don't have to like do a Widowmaker with like 5 breathing pauses in between and totally crush yourself. Just do a normal straight set, maybe higher reps if you need to. Don't be afraid of high reps and just do your set until you hit like failure or near failure, and then you're fine. Yeah.
I feel like it's also about opportunities. Like the more skilled you are, you can get away with less sets because like each set is better quality. Same with rep ranges. Like if the lower rep ranges is a skill, like most people that think I'm just gonna get the stimulus and not the fatigue, and they just they aren't skilled yet enough to actually use the 6 reps like you would. So for them, it isn't like 6 reps, and maybe if they did 12 reps, when the amount of stabilization required is less and the bracing is also like less impactful, then they could actually get those 6 good reps. But the more skill you get, the less sets you would need because each set is better. And most people think, the people that are way on the top advanced, they think of themselves sometimes as maybe not as experienced, and they are still seeking maybe more volume, maybe this. And the people that are at the bottom, they think of as themselves as those experienced guys. So in their head, they are like, oh, I only do 1 set per quads because Christian does it. And then they are surprised that their quads won't actually grow or even stay the same for that reason.
That's a good plan for a disaster. Yeah, totally. Completely on board with you on that. Like, one of the biggest things we can give people on their way is like, don't look too much what person X, Y, Z is doing. Yeah, don't look left and right. I mean, you see so many people, maybe people you look up to on social media doing their stuff. Do yours. Just do yours. Do movements you feel well, not what's with the biggest hype on social media. Do movements you can progress on consistently that feel safe for you. Do them in rep ranges you can perform well in, like be safe in and progress within, and you can actually work hard in. Yeah, and then just get stronger over time. Like it's not rocket science. Yeah, it's not rocket science. But that noise of social media with other people doing their stuff can get a bit into your head. It can even get into my head, seeing other people what they do. And I don't consume a lot of social media. I am a lot there because of like me posting and stuff, but I'm not consuming a lot. But when I consume, I still have like thoughts, maybe that would be worth a try or something like that. Yeah, that's still with me.
I think
And
it's good
I'm
for people
like,
to hear that because like you are very experienced and still even you can have some like doubt. So imagine what most people would need to feel.
100%. I mean, immediately after that, I'm catching myself. No, that's nonsense. I'm just continue to do my stuff, and I've been following this whole like training plan, despite being in 2 different gyms. But I've been following this training plan since the end of prep, and I did the same plan for like all throughout prep and stuff. But it's always just yeah, weird for me to catch myself with those thought processes, and
What
it still hits me. It still hits me.
what are some things that you change your mind on in recent years or past year training wise?
Oh, whew, that's yeah. Actually, one thing I've posted that a few times actually, and that is the thing with the 50-50 reps. Yeah. So in the past, I was like going all in on a set each and every time. Like what mattered most to me was like hitting muscle failure on like each and every set. And I'm still not a big fan of training with RER, even one, because I still think that most people can't accurately estimate that. But what I tell people and what I do myself now is stop a set when a rep feels like something that I then think of, I could not complete another rep like that. Like I could not complete another rep with the same accuracy that I had in like my first rep, second rep, whatever. So I'm not taking any reps. Where's the chance like 50-50 if I can complete it or not? Yeah. And that's one thing I've implemented in my own training, that I don't finish every set with partials. I mean, you would have had to look at me on the lat pull down or so. I was pulling bar towards
The length and partials, bro.
Yeah. I did lengthen partials after each set, but not with the intent of like going with lengthened partials. I just wanted to like go balls to the wall in each and every set. I did that for like until beginning of 2025. On each set, like even on a press, I would opt for another like half rep or so. I wanted to like make sure that I'm there. I took it all the way there.
I feel like this is so important, but again, the people that need this advice aren't hearing it, and the people that are training too light will say, "Oh, I won't take that rep," and it's very hard to accurately like estimate what the RR is, and somehow people, I feel like the biggest misunderstanding is sometimes IRR is 0 isn't actually failure, because like you will get to failure like half a reps later, and the amount of like unnecessary fatigue, I don't like to use this word because it's for obvious reasons, but I don't want to use that word, but you know what I'm saying. So that's like in many cases, like very rarely the true IRR 0 is actually like failure. Like most often it's like, let's say 1/3 of the rep away from failure. So this is maybe the misunderstanding, and it's still extremely hard, but it's about staying accurate and getting there. And I don't think anyone can actually gauge like what their reps are if they don't consistently get like you say, like doing partials and everything around it.
One more thing that's so important to me, Cosma, is to tell people that I only can do that, and only clients from me can do that, because they did intense shit for years. Like I talked about before. Like I did a Widowmaker set on a leg press, and I've actually prepared posting that, where I review a Widowmaker leg press set for my own from years ago. But I did a Widowmaker leg press set with like smelling salts. I was like going into the set, smelling salt, then getting a slap in my neck from my training partner, then screaming the hell out of myself, going into the leg press set, doing like a set with my 10 rep max, doing 10 reps until I fail, then taking rest pauses, breathing pauses until I get to 20 reps. It was like a 3-minute set. So I did stupid shit in the past, and that's the reason why I can now confidently say that I know where my 50-50 reps would be. Otherwise, I would not do that. I would not be able to do that. And also with my clients, I can only say that to people that know what hard training is. I mean, you must have some clients too that like fail at the end of like a hex squat set or so, yeah, where you have to like push the brake a bit with them, and that's the people where I can use this advice with. But for most people, I mean, you have to like blast shit for years, like go in there, fail your leg presses, like with safety pins and stuff, fail your leg presses, fail your presses, fail your pulls, yeah. You have to experience that to get to a point where you can now accurately say what this and that is, like in terms of like reps in reserve or reps in reserve 0 or whatever, yeah. And as you talked about before, like reps in reserve 0 doesn't mean that you completely maxed out the set. That just means you could not complete another rep with the same accuracy, with the same intent and the same execution. That has to stay the same. And then that's reps in reserve 0. Yeah.
I want to bring one more subject before, because I don't want to oversee the time. The warm-up sets and actually the reduction in these numbers, because this is also something I've changed my mind on, and I started doing less, like within a year or so, and I feel like you are one of the only people I've seen actually talk about it. Can you tell us more? Why do you do so little warm-ups?
It's a fun story. It's just something that I've experimented a bit in the past few months. And that's not why I got hurt on the chest presses, because chest presses only, I like to do more warm-ups than with any other movement. But for example, today was a pretty fun session. I trained limbs today, so legs and arms.
Extremities.
Extremities. I did legs and arms, and I completed my arm part of that session. Then I went straight to the calf machine, or the leg press where I did my calf raises, went full stack and did my set. I went for no warm-up whatsoever. Then from the calf raise, I went on to the side-exceeded hamstring curl, put the chin pin in there, stacked 30 kilos on there, and just went straight into my working set. That's not good advice, people. That's just something I call an experiment. Take that with a pinch of salt or with a grain of salt, please. Okay? So, but overall, the overarching theme is that many people burn their fire they have or they would have for their sets with their warm-ups. So they go in and do like 50% of their working weight for 12 reps. Some people might say, that's light. Yeah, just get some blood flow in. But it's not necessary. It's not necessary to do 12 reps for a warm-up set with like 50% of your working weight. I mean, if you feel like you really need it, then maybe do it, yeah. But in my experience, the less warm-ups I did for the past few months, the better my working sets get, yeah. And that's why I reduced my warm-up sets like drastically, up to a point right now where I am, where I do like 0 to 1 warm-up on each and every exercise. And for most people, I like to go with like 1 to 3 warm-ups, always dependent on how strong they are. Yeah, I mean, you need some. You can profit a bit from a potentiation effect in regards to those working sets, and that's why for most people it can make sense to do warm-ups with less reps with working up in weight, like doing 50% for like 3 reps, and then like 80% for 1 rep, and then 90% maybe for 1 rep, and then going for the working weight. Yeah. But doing like high rep sets is not necessary. It's necessary to increase body temperature. It's necessary to get used to that movement if you won't feel safe going into the first hard set, and to like make sure that the setup is all right, like the bench is set up correctly on a Smith press or something like that. I would not do that on a Smith press, because if I then go in there and do my first rep and the bench feels off, then the set would be a disaster. But especially on machines, I like to go in there, put my working weight on, do one rep. If that one rep feels great, I will continue throughout my working set. If that rep feels off, I will treat that as a warm-up and leave it at one rep. That's how I do it currently. And that works amazing. But for most of my clients, I advise to do between 1 and 3 warm-ups. I mean, if you do like 3 delt movements in a session, like you do a lateral raise and then a shoulder press and then a rear delt fly. I mean, do you really need a warm-up on the rear delt fly with that weight you're moving there? Maybe not. Maybe you are, but maybe not. If you do a shoulder press and later in the session you do a lateral raise, do you need a warm-up on the lateral raise? Maybe not. Maybe you need one. If you need one, do 1 and don't do 3. And if you do 1, don't do 15 reps. Focus on like 2 to 3 reps to get the setup right, and then do your working set. But I've changed my mind on that also a bit. Yeah, I would not say that definitely, but reducing my warm-up sets has made a big change to my performance. But also on exercise like a pendulum squat, yeah, I need to warm up. Yeah, I need at least one set with like 60 to 70% for like 1 to 2 reps before I go into my working set.
So do the minimum to actually safely perform a motion. So let's say like early compound in the session, like 2-3 working sets, and then like hitting another exercise for the same body part. Maybe you don't need as much. And the more skilled you are in a movement and the more familiar you are with it, the less warm-ups you need, because you know the setup and everything. And maybe like when it comes to like, let's say body parts like hamstrings or biceps, when there's like a big amount of pressure like at the lengthening portion, maybe like do them for like, I don't know, say like orthopedic reasons, like that's or to warm up the knees. Like I know you're a fan of doing like hams work before the quad work as a warm up, so we can actually like sequence the exercise in order to so each exercise serves as a warm up for the next one.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you do a pre-shot curl as your first movement with like a dumbbell or a machine that's heavily lengthened loaded, I would always warm up. But if you do a pre-shot curl as your third bicep movement or second bicep movement, second elbow flexor movement, whatever, and you do it, you do a machine that's not heavily lengthened loaded, you could go in there and do that with no warm-up, especially when you hit like 6+ reps and not 4 to 6 or something like that. Yeah. Without any risk of like tearing your bicep.
Yeah, I feel like this is just another aspect. Like the more skilled you are, the less you need, and this is actually the one thing that you will figure it out. Like you don't need someone say if it doesn't feel right, just do more once. If it feels alright, just don't waste your energy.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So we are gonna wrap this up because this I know how fast the time flew. Is there any
it's
like
crazy? It's crazy all the time. Like you're getting into such a talking flow, and it was amazing. Like we definitely have to do another episode like someday.
Yeah, man, just sign me up like whenever you can. I'm self-employed. I can do anytime. Just I will join the wait list like whenever because I've seen you're doing one with Cuba and in Jim Dan tomorrow, right? Because you put up the question box.
I mean, me, Fabian Huber, and Danny are like have a triangle of YouTube podcasts. We're doing it in German.
Yeah, I see it because I subscribe to the channel, but I don't understand the single word, so I cannot bother.
But we actually plan to bring, if we are not like in the free constellation, so if tomorrow Fabian has to get off, and we plan to bring some more people in, like AJ, Cuba, and stuff like that. Yeah, I think we'll be pretty damn cool. Yeah,
awesome. So we can expect more English content from you.
Yeah, definitely. We'll try to get some value out there, hopefully.
Yeah, perfect. So thank you so much for your time. And like I said, I want to get on the wait list. So whenever you have time, because I still have like so many points I want to go through.
Oh my God.
But we couldn't get on. But I'm happy I hit the record button, because if we would just continue to go on and this episode would get recorded.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, if people like this episode and like what we've talked about and like this constellation, because it was a lot of fun, then please comment below.
Yes, please, guys, comment,
that.
because I want to get Chris on another time.
So we know that, and we can do another podcast for you. Maybe even before my competition season starts in March.
Yeah, perfect. I will pay people for each person that comments. I will pay you just to get Chris on. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. Thanks for your time, Cosmo.
Yeah, thank you again, and yeah, see you guys in the next episode.